part of it? Or?
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, somewhere around here.
Yeah, it's around here, I know.
Yeah, so wherever you want to drop us off.
Get all the way to the divider.
All the way.
Are you ready for Colorado Trail? It's a funny little terminus. What do you think? Yeah.
Less than a month after finishing our 850-mile hike across the state of Utah, we begin again. This time, just outside of Denver on the Colorado Trail. A roughly 500-mile through hike, which runs across Colorado from Denver all the way to Durango. Through the mountains, the high alpine treeless expanses, through the beautiful forests, past lakes and rivers and creeks, up and over ski resorts, and past cute little towns all along the way. The Colorado Trail is something that I've heard about for pretty much my entire hiking career. Its reputation certainly precedes itself. It is known to be one of the most beautiful hikes in the entire United States, a hike with one of the greatest communities, perfectly maintained and well routed, and overall, one of the most fun hikes you could ever do. Great for first-time thru hikers looking to challenge themselves, or veterans who are seeking perfection from start to finish. Even the slogan of the Colorado Trail Foundation is something along the lines of "Mile for mile, the most beautiful trail in America." So given everything I've heard, given a slogan that boasts such a bold claim, Colorado has always been very high on my bucket list of long-distance trails that I would like to do. So my partner and I will be hiking about 500 miles across the state of Colorado. By contrast, our last long hike was really quite different, spending 2 months trekking across the desert. Off-trail navigation was an everyday kind of difficulty. 35-mile water carries were common. Constantly, we found ourselves scrambling up and down sheer rock walls in or out of remote canyons. And during the 2 months that we were out there, we only ran into 4 other hikers in total. So, to be a little bit honest, we are hoping that this trail will be smooth sailing by comparison. Water out here is plentiful. Tons of people do this year after year. The trail's well maintained and well taken care of. Everything should be really easy as could be on one of the most premier and loved for long trails out there. Nice trail, good community, frequent towns, plentiful water, and absolutely no days with temperatures exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But of course, as through hikes go, whatever you expect is never what is actually going to happen. So, when things go very, very wrong on a through hike, how do you react? What happens? So, despite our hopes and dreams for this trail, I think we're going to find out in a big way that expectations should always be left at the trailhead, and one should always remain flexible on hikes like these. We began our trip near Denver and immediately found ourselves climbing up to higher and higher elevations, hiking up and over the foothills and quickly getting into much larger mountains, much steeper grades, and much more beautiful views. Within just 100 miles, we were already near Breckenridge, a world-renowned ski resort and mountain town, followed directly by Copper Mountain Ski Resort, and then, of course, the beloved little town of Leadville. I think, at least in the United States, Colorado is about as iconic as it gets for skiing and winter sports. So naturally, the Colorado Trail as well is going to traverse those same exact mountains. And you're going to pass by some of these well-known ski areas that so many people from all over the world have come to visit and enjoy. Their beauty both in the surrounding nature and also in the architecture and design of the towns themselves is something to behold. And it's no question why so many people choose this as their big vacation. There is never a dull sight out here, and I think these resort towns add a lot to the experience, which you won't find on other long trails. At least certainly not in such great density. Everything is highly curated, and everything is incredibly beautiful. As far as the hiking goes, Colorado is certainly known for those big sweeping vistas. The views, the massively tall mountains in every direction. It is known to be one of the greatest hiking destinations in the United States. And a big part of that is because it is home to so many 14,000-foot peaks. I can't remember how many there are exactly, but it's something like 53 mountains across Colorado are higher than 14,000. A rarity in the U.S., as few other states even have just one peak that high. I know California has a handful, somewhere around 12, with Mount Whitney being their tallest and overall the highest peak in the U.S. aside from what you will find in Alaska. Washington has just one in Mount Rainier. And then on the other side of things, Oregon, Idaho, New Mexico, Montana, and Wyoming all have none. I choose to mention those states in particular, as when I think of the mountains there, I think of very tall and very imposing peaks. Yet it is Colorado that has them all beat by such a great margin. Looking out east, the highest mountains are all under 7,000 feet, half the height of so many which can be found here. So it really is a rarity to be surrounded by mountains that are this big. It adds to the scenery of every day to see these peaks looming in the distance in what feels like every direction. A keen eye can almost always point out a handful of them from just about any point along the Colorado Trail. This is something that makes this state so very unique and very special. To be so high and to be able to stay at that elevation for so long. So while hiking the Colorado Trail, you do have the opportunity to visit some of these peaks. Of course, on the contingent that the weather is good and that you are feeling strong. A couple of them are just a mile or two off trail, and for those willing to put in the extra effort, many of them could be reached from the CT with just half a day side trip. It's kind of an incredible thing that a side trip here is not just to see some small little lake or pond, some tiny little vista overlooking some hills, but a side trip here is to climb one of the most epic mountains that there ever could be. And you could do that many, many times over along this trail, if you are very motivated to do so. The biggest problem here is, however, the weather. As much as Colorado is known for good hiking, it is also known for terrible weather, especially so in regards to going after big objectives. In the past, whenever someone told me about this trail, they spoke of the beauty and how much they enjoyed it, but they always made a point to mention how frequently the storms added to the difficulty of their hike in a significant way. So given the high elevation, given the many miles above treeline hiking through alpine zones, bad weather, storms, thunder, and lightning can mean serious trouble here. So pretty much every day of a Colorado Trail thru hike throughout the summer could have an afternoon thunderstorm. And I think we are going to get a very, very intimate look at that weather pattern quite soon. Due to such a reputation, the weather is definitely something that I felt the need to prepare for. A fully enclosed tent, in my mind, is a necessity here. Despite how much I like to use a tarp on pretty much any other long trail out there, I just don't want to get caught with mile after mile of above tree line type of terrain with no natural shelter, and to not have some kind of fully enclosed tent myself to hide in until things pass. Getting struck by lightning seems like it would be a supremely not fun experience, which could lead to some terrible complications. So it's definitely something I want to avoid on this trip. While many other trails will have long, long stretches of forested sections and just little pieces of alpine areas, the Colorado Trail really is the opposite, where there are small pieces of forested areas with large sections of trail that are above tree line. And that is what makes the storms so bad out here. It is maybe not truly any worse than any other state in the country. But given the nature of this trail and the same reasons it is so beautiful and amazing, the storms can be that much worse. So, as far as challenges go on the Colorado Trail, I think the storms really are the biggest one, at least for me. Dealing with the shorter hiking days while trying to avoid the weather, getting up at weird times in efforts to still get a full day of hiking in, or stopping your day early to try and escape storms can be a strange adjustment. You just don't ever want to get caught in one while having to cross alpine terrain. So it takes some getting used to the timing and how to go about hiking safely in these conditions. The other really big challenge on the CT though is the elevation itself. Maybe the first 50 miles or so of this trail are at a slightly lower elevation because you're starting near Denver, but even the city of Denver is at about 5,000 feet, and you're pretty much climbing immediately from there to head up to 8,000, 9,000. And then about 100 miles in, you're pretty much going to be above 10,000 feet for the entire rest of the trail. And the second half of this hike is even higher, where you will be above 12,000 feet and oftentimes 13,000 for a lot of the way through the San Juan Mountains. So this is a trail that I've been dreaming of doing for many, many years now. I always heard it's one of the best in the entire country. Many thru hikers will tell me that this was their first, or that this is their favorite. Many people I know have chosen to move across the country to one of these towns after having done the Colorado Trail. Many people I know would do this one over and over again, very happily. So I'm excited to be here and to finally get to experience this place for myself. It's been about 20 years since I was last in Colorado, so I think I am definitely overdue. Things, unfortunately, are about to take a big turn for me and my partner, but we will try to not let that affect us too much in the long run.
Sprocket is off trail. She got off trail at Cottonwood Pass, and yeah, it's been a weird time. Even more so for her. You know, it's hard being out here and filming these things when the person you're with is not having fun. 2 days into this hike, she's having bad calf pain, really bad calf pain. So literally a day and a half in and we take 2 zeros. You know, just because it's like, man, this problem, it may not go away. It may just get worse and worse. You know, let's try and deal with it right now. Which brings us to the last, like, I don't know, 5-6 days of this hike, and maybe it's the high altitude. We've been up at 12,000 feet like pretty frequently, and you know, definitely above 10,000 for like a lot of these days, the past like week. And it could have been that, it could have been the altitude, or maybe she had a stomach bug, I don't know. But the past like 5 days, she's just had like a total loss of energy. When she eats or drinks, it makes her feel really bad. We just took off, I want to say 3 or 4 days, and now I'm back and I'm gonna finish this trail alone. You know, right now we're at maybe the halfway mark, and you know, sometimes things just aren't in the cards. You know, hopefully I'll just finish this trail quick and we can be back together, but you know, I've always heard the second half of the Colorado Trail is the better half, and I still really want to experience that. I still really want to be out here. First half of the trail, we did it together. Second half of the trail, it's just me. Sometimes I think that's just through hiking. You come out here and no matter how prepared you are, no matter how well trained you are, like sometimes things just aren't guaranteed.
So, my partner got Giardia. Fortunately, it's just a mild case, and she doesn't have the typical symptoms that come with it normally. But it does, however, mean that exerting herself through hiking up and down these mountains has been made more or less impossible, and she will not be able to complete the Colorado Trail this time around. So for now, she will rest and heal up for the next one, as we still have more hiking plans for the year. I will continue on alone and not have as much fun without her. But it's still a hike that I've always wanted to do, and I will still try to make the best of it. And sometimes that's just through hiking. Things don't go as planned. People go home for all sorts of different reasons.
So up there is San Luis Peak. It is a 14er. It's only a mile off trail, but bad clouds and it's expected to rain. So I don't think I really want to do that. And I'm gonna hopefully find shelter somewhere up ahead.
It's good to remain flexible regardless of what comes your way. And I think right now, that is what we are both trying to do. Overall, I've very much enjoyed my time here, hiking this trail and getting to experience this part of the country that is so immense when it comes to outdoor opportunity. It seems like regardless of what you're into, Colorado has it. The wildlife, the rivers, the hiking, scrambling, running, or skiing, wildflowers, or art. There is no shortage of beauty, inspiration, or fun to be had here. It feels like a land of opportunity for those who identify with outdoor pursuits in whatever way that suits you. I, of course, could maybe do with a little bit less of the thunderstorms, as it seems like we've had them on more than half of our days out here. But I guess it's a small price to pay in the end for what is on offer. My partner hiked the first 210 miles with me, and I hiked the final 270 miles alone. But on a trail like this, you never really are alone. Over the course of my hike, I wound up meeting more than 200 others who are out here pushing themselves through the same things we have been. It really has been great to get to know this new place and find new dreams in all the other things I would like to do here the next time I am around. My first visit to the state was 20 years ago, and I think the next time I won't be waiting even sort of close to as long until you can find me in these mountains again. So, things didn't really go as planned, but they never really do, and that's okay. We get stronger and move on with that new strength for whatever comes next.
All right, really fast, no thrills, many thrills. This is the high point of the Colorado Trail, 13,000 whatever feet. There's a giant storm over there and I need to get out of here. Don't do this, thanks. So this is where the Colorado Trail and the Continental Divide Trail split again. Colorado Trail up the hill and Continental Divide, I don't know, probably down into that gulch or something. But hey, maybe I'll be seeing the rest of the Continental Divide Trail pretty soon. I had to stop for 3 hours because the storms are bad. I knew a big storm was coming. I could see the clouds forming and getting heavier and heavier, and I could hear the thunder begin to rumble in faster and faster intervals. I knew it was coming soon, and it was coming hard. I was hiking as fast as I could, 4.5 miles an hour, just to try and get as far as I could before the storm hit. And fortunately, as hail started to fall, crash down on me, I found a nice little camp spot, kind of sheltered by the world's smallest tree, to set up my tent at 1 p.m. Thunder, lightning, big storms above tree line is not something to play games with. Today is my last day on trail. I only have 15 miles to go until I'm done. Do I look a little crazy? It's just been raining for the past like 5 days straight. Raining, thunder, lightning, crazy hail. So I haven't really filmed much. Any like alpine zone that I'm coming up to, if it's thunder lightning, I've just had to set up my tent and sit in it and wait until the thunder lightning stops and then jog across the alpine zone. It's been a little silly past, I don't know, while it feels like. Anyway, it's raining. It's probably going to be raining for the next 15 miles until the end. It's probably going to be raining at the end. So, quite the last day. The Colorado Trail has been weird. Weird from the beginning. When she gets off trail, it's like the hike completely changes, you know? It goes from us hanging out and hiking together and having fun to how many miles in a day can I do and can I not get struck by lightning? So far, success. Didn't get struck by lightning yet. I don't know. It is what it is. So here's to the Colorado Trail. The afternoon thunderstorms definitely lived up to the hype. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all. We've got this tons of road. I mean, I think so.
Did you get a picture?
Take a picture.
Let me take a picture of you.
Let's get the camera.
Can I take a picture of the two of you? Oh no.
Lots of people.